On a chilly winter day, early 2006, I sat at the office of Philip de Montebello, then the director of Metropolitan Museum of Art. He would announce his retirement 2 years later. Montebello's age, generally considered even by his most fervent admirers a little arrogant, a touch of the pop aside, his mid-Atlantic voice of God, well known from his acoustic guide tours of exhibitions, does nothing to dispel the impression of a healthy self-regard. So I was nervous. I was there to discuss my plan to write an unauthorized book about museum and to ask for his support, at least his neutrality. He wasn't happy to see me. My brief conversation with the museum administration, their racing an abrupt conclusion, had actually begun in the fall of 2005 when I called Harold Holzer, the senior vice president for external affairs, and told him my plans. His reaction was quick and negative. Nobody here is ever of a mind. Cooperate with the author, he said. The only kind of books we find even vaguely palatable are those we control. Nonetheless, the museum had broken precedent to cooperate. Another author writing about the museum is vaguely palatable because it was a controlled entity. Once it was published, I'd see there was no point in writing anything. I tell you we will cooperate. Will you go away? So it's an unauthorized book. 138 years ago, the Metropolitan Museum of Art was started. Spent like $3 million on a masterpiece with John D. Rockefeller. They had some money. 1926 was their heyday. They meet in white. Yeah. They spent $3 million on stuff, right? Stuff you like, right? Huh? So painters could paint. Sometimes they'd spend $3 million on a painting, right? People who families that could paint. This is a pharmaceutical company trying to target people's families who can paint, right? So this is a Nazi pharmaceutical. They would sit there. Huh? $320 million and $2,000. So, $7.3 million outright, another $7.5 million in capital invested. So they had money. It was worth like $320 million nowadays, right? It's worth something more. At one time it was worth something, right? So this $10 million back in the day was worth $320 million today, right? Because they said artists were painting, right? And then my family could paint. You think you ways to attack me and rob me and make derogatory... You're just looking for ways to attack me at this point, make racist ethnic slurs, So you wanted wealth and riches, So you wanted wealth and riches through 1880. Rich Americans spent more money on art during the 30 years from 1880 to 1910 than ever been spent from a similar group in the world history. 1880s, So that's about the time. So Ford had people had money, spent money on trying out a car. They want a really nice car. Mostly it's pretty okay. It's okay. They want a really great car. He was making lots of cars, right? See, they want to make money on cars. He made lots of cars. Some people with lots of really great cars, they like that, right? But then they didn't spend money. They weren't collecting them. So he had some stuff that he could be working on, but they didn't really collect his best. They were just collecting it to support his work, No, they said he's just robbing people at this point. He said they already had cars. They weren't collecting it like a priceless work of art. See, rich people spend money on artwork. This was worth something, right? So $10 million back in the day was is worth like 20 million now? I saw your money's worthless, right? Because back in the day, they started this car company where they could have been, cars actually have real valuables. They could have been investing in it to make the best. They said they're not investing in it and collecting it like the best. You could make 3 million, you could make 6 million of the best cars, right? They said this was a lot of money back then, right? It's worth more. Back in the day when he started his cars, selling 15 million cars at $1,000. That was like $1 billion something. I'll say it was $1 billion. That'd be like trillions of dollars nowadays, but it wasn't worth it. They didn't value it. They kept attacking the car dealer and they weren't investing in the best. Cause why? See, they said they were just trying to rob people, right? They didn't care. They're just thinking ways to rob people and the money's not really worth anything anymore.